They're the best people we have, and they're Hispanic. The Border Patrol is largely Hispanic. ICE is largely Hispanic. They're unbelievable people. I don't know how they can take the abuse. They're taking rough people like this, like all of them. They're the best people we have, and they're Hispanic. The Border Patrol is largely Hispanic. ICE is largely Hispanic. They're unbelievable people. I don't know how they can take the abuse. They're taking rough people like this, like all of them. They're the best people we have, and they're Hispanic. The Border Patrol is largely Hispanic. ICE is largely Hispanic. They're unbelievable people. I don't know how they can take the abuse. They're taking rough.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, and that is who the world ignorantly calls God. Bahashim, which means in the name. Yahweh Shai, which means He is our salvation, and that is who the world also ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man, who, by the way, only came for the Israelites, which brings us to our discussion / topic this afternoon. ICE is largely Hispanics. ICE, which is an acronym for Immigration Custom Enforcement, are largely Hispanics operating as their agents, okay? Now, this just goes to show you how true the Bible is, okay? Because the Bible speaks of this. His brother should have an evil eye towards him, all right? And why? Because he went off, speaking of the Israelites, and worshiped other idols and gods, all right? And Yahweh brought this cruel nation to suffer them, okay? To oppress them, all right? So this is the AI overview. I typed in, are ICE agents largely Hispanics? And this is where the answer came up. While specific, recent data on the exact percentage of Hispanics ICE agents isn't readily available in the snippets. Studies and reports indicated a significant Hispanic presence with Immigration and Custom Enforcement, ICE, with some sources highlighting them as a substantial portion of the workforce, particularly in small agencies like ICE. So here it is, we have the President of the United States that's making that statement, and somewhat AI, which is what? Agreeing upon that statement that ICE is largely comprised of Hispanics, okay? It says, with some sources highlighting them as a substantial portion of the workforce, particularly in smaller agencies like ICE, often driven by economic factors, though not necessarily reflecting unified viewpoints on enforcement, see? And as you saw, as I scrolled through some of the comments, you see some of the, whether they were bots or whether they were real profiles, commenting on that clip that Trump said ICE are largely Hispanics. Some of the comments were, after he's used the ICE agents to deport these Hispanics that don't have their documents and legal status, he's going to import them. You had some other comments that were saying Hispanics are their own worst enemy. All right. You had other comments that said, Hispanics hate each other. All right. And this is the narrative. All right. Why? Because this devil is pushing this to what? Get as many as Israelites as he can before he shows his horns, which he's already starting to bear them. All right. So let's go into prophecy and let's see and read this in Deuteronomy 28. Matter of fact, let's just jump up and start at verse 50. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 50. It says, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed. So here it is. America is using the Hispanics, the Northern Kingdom, to go against the Northern Kingdom. All right. And then once they're finished, more than likely, they're going to be devoured. All right. Those ICE agents. Okay. See, this devil is very sneaky, man. All right. He's using Hispanics. He's hiring. And don't think that this is just coincidence. No, he's purposefully hiring Hispanics to go after Hispanics, to set more division. It says, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of sheep of thy sheep until he have destroyed thee. See? So don't think that this is just a coincidence. No, this is deliberately. All right. He's sending Hispanics. You know, this is why he incentivized signing bonuses like $50,000 to come sign up and join ICE. All right. He knows the only people that's going to come actually knocking is those that are in a poverty-driven, community. Okay. And those are the Israelites. All right. So this is all by design. Make no mistake about it, all right? That he's trying to come after the Israelites surreptitiously until he can no longer conceal his identity and all hell breaks loose, okay? And then that's when the foreign troops are going to come into place, okay? Verse 52, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy high and fenced walls come down. Right. Because now who knows Hispanics better than Hispanics, man? All right. He hires these Hispanics, these bootlickers, to be ICE agents that turn their back on their, people, that know where they hide at, that know where they, socialize and things of that magnitude, so that they can what? Be incentivized to get more of their own kind to be what? Deported to get what? More bonuses, man. See? All under the guidelines or auspices of what? Being an American patriot, all right? And I've seen numerous videos where Hispanic ICE agents told other Hispanic ICE agents that what? You need to do it the legal way, okay? And even one Hispanic ICE agent told another Hispanic that he was checking to see whether or not he had his proper paperwork to be here, that he stopped them because of his accent, and he had the same accent. Okay? This is madness, man. But see, this is what happens when you trust the devil. When you was told specifically, never trust thy enemy. All right? And it's gonna be too late. Once you see his horns, he's gonna have been already gorged you. So it says, and thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body. See, that's what's going on, man. This devil is causing the Latino community to eat the fruit of their own body, man. Deporting their own people. Aiding in the process of, getting rid of the Israelites. As if this devil won't turn his back on you. It says, and thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters. You see, this devil is using division, man. Okay, you guys, you came about it the right way. See, you came in and you got the proper documents, the proper, channels to get legal citizenship. Why can't they do it? All right. And they feed them this hoorah type of madness, probably in these orientations and things like that, before they deputize them to be ICE agents to go out and take out their own people, man. This is just how slick this devil is. So it says, and thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body. Matter of fact, this may be the title. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body. That's heavy. The flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which Yahweh thy power hath given thee, in the siege and in the straitness, wherewith thy enemies shall distress thee. Right. And it's going to get real hard out here. Once they start shutting off roads to certain areas where food can't be readily available, people going to start eating their own children, man. Hell, you may even start eating your own flesh. Because why? A few days without water, your mind starts to, lose it. Okay? Verse 54, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother. So now we seeing, man. All right? For a little bit of change, in the circumstances and the situation that this damn fierce nation has set up, to where inflation is at an all-time high. Hey, a ninja will do anything, even sell out his own kind. Okay? To get that $50,000 bonus, man. All right? It says, his eye shall be evil towards his brother. See? Hey, this goes deep, man. All right? Not just the northern and southern kingdom, but hey, you got division amongst both kingdoms. All right? See? And that's why the Lord is only looking for the elect. All right? Only the elect, man. Because these 2/3, whether they Hispanics, whether they are blacks, whether they Native Americans, they've been what? Predestined to be destroyed here in Babylon the Great, man. Because they ain't going to get right. All right? They're not going to get right. It says, his eye shall be evil towards his brother and toward the wife of his bosom and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. See? So as stated earlier, man, you got ICE agents that's stopping you got Hispanic ICE agents that's stopping other Hispanics based on how they talk with that accent, and they sound the same way, man. All right? This devil is diabolical, man. All right? He's fierce to turn you against your own people, man, and to drive a wedge by putting a $50,000 signing bonus to make you believe that what you're doing is right, when this devil took this land by force and violence and bloodshed. And that's the only way this place is going to be cleansed. No matter how you think you're doing the, patriotic thing and trying to, nah, man. This place wasn't meant to be delivered and saved. This place, America, the United States of America, was meant to be cleansed by the way of thermonuclear fire. ICBMs. Okay? So this is exactly where we're at with it. Okay? And once this devil is finished using you to round up your people, the Northern Kingdom, and Israelites in general, he's going to discard of you, man. Because he's going to have another group come in. All right? That ain't going to give a damn. Okay? So even if you think you're doing, the right thing by signing up for ICE so you can, get information and relay it back to your people, eventually this devil's going to catch on to what you're doing, and he's going to get rid of you. Treasoning. Okay? Or what have you. All right? And you're going to be replaced by what? What you call United Nation foreign troops. And they're already here. Some of them are already in the borders of ICE. Okay? So this is exactly where we at with it. All right? Never trust thy enemy. Okay? And if you don't know who your enemy is, Esau, Edom, then you're going to trust him. Only to be misled, misguided, and misdirected to your demise. All right? So never trust thy enemy. Let's go ahead and close out. This is 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. It reads, be sober, be vigilant. Why? because your adversary, the devil, and he's showing his horns, all right? But soon he's going to completely show them, all right? And then it's all bets are off then, all right? He's just buying his time until that time comes. He's bearing them, but soon he's going to fully show you who he is. It says, as a roaring lion walketh about, seeking whom he may devour, right? And he'll use you to go after your own people. And then after that, he'll discard you and get rid of you. All right? Never trust thy enemy.
Why are you asking me for my paperwork?
Because of your accent.
I.C.E, you have an accent too.
Where were you born, sir?
Where were you born at?
Put your hands behind your back.
Ramon Monero was detained by U.S. Border Patrol agents outside his home in a Minneapolis suburb after an agent questioned whether he was a citizen because of his accent.
I'm from this country.
You know what, sir? Now, talking to you, hearing that you have an accent, I have reason to believe that you are not born of this
So
country.
you just made an accent?
What country are you from?
According to Monero, agents took a photo of him and searched a system that indicated he's been a U.S. citizen since 2019. They also checked his U.S. passport card, which he keeps in his wallet, before letting him go. Monero, who was born in Mexico and obtained a U.S. passport in 2021, was detained in front of his 5-year-old daughter.
Well, she was shaking when I got in the home, and she's like, "Are you okay? That we're gonna take you? I don't want to lose you." And I'm like, "You're not gonna lose me." Even though I'm a citizen, still afraid because they don't care if you're a citizen or not. And especially because I know I have a really strong accent speaking English. I know I can be a target because who are they targeting just because our appearance and because of our accent.
CNN has contacted the Department of Homeland Security for comment on the incident and to ask if agents are allowed to temporarily detain people on the street with accents.
So with that being said, pray someone was edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We're almost home. Shalom. Peace.